First off, y'all so slow, need to open them lanes. Got me running to my gate, now I done missed my plane. Y'all claim to be efficient, but that can't be right. I got here 2 hours early, still miss my flight. Plus TSA be mad, yeah, they always pissed, but not as much as me. You know how much money I just spent? I'm sick and tired of these rules from these fools. Attitudes is rude, remove your jacket, laptop and shoes. Y'all need some more employees, man. Do y'all need help with a job fair or something? Do some type of hiring event or increase the pay, man. This is outrageous.
No heterosexual marriage, no childbirth. These are just two of the pillars of the radical 4B feminist movement in South Korea, in which women are basically boycotting men. I'll explain. The 4B movement is based on 4 pillars, each of which starts with B, the Korean word for no. Bihon, no heterosexual marriage. Bichulsan, no childbirth. Biyone, no dating men. And Biseksu, no heterosexual sexual relationship.
All right, so I took a look online, and I just so happened to find a little bit more content on Passport Bros. And I guess as we move closer and closer to summer, keep in mind summer officially starts pretty much June 21st or June 22nd. We're getting closer and closer to summer, so obviously people are getting ready to pack their suitcases and they're getting ready to get out of here, either for the summer or for longer. So basically, you probably already know my trip is upcoming to Bali and then to Singapore. And I'm going to definitely be getting plenty of video footage and 4K and this, that, and other from everything from the plane to the actual locations. I hope at the end of the year that iPhone offers a 2 terabyte storage unit, because once I have 2 terabytes, I think I'll be very, very comfortable having plenty of content and stuff on my phone when I go traveling, to these places. So the article is called Understanding Passport Bros, a Movement Redefining Borders and Relationships by Mr. Digital Fingers. And this is from rollingout.com. So it says the Passport Bros movement illuminates a distinctive facet of modern social dynamics. Oh, gee, I wonder what that is. Now, I haven't actually read this yet. I usually try to read these for authentic reactions. I usually try to read them as I'm recording, and I usually don't read them first. I try to get an authentic reaction. So it says, in recent years, the term Passport Bros has gained traction within various online communities, capturing the attention of many looking to understand this emerging subculture. Passport Bros, predominantly African-American men. Thank you. African-American men. See, the first of all, you have to understand, the definition of Passport Bros is Black American or African-American men traveling abroad, seeking relationships, romance, marriage. There is a lot of other people who've tried to hijack the Passport Bros name, and the reality is they're not actually Passport Bros. There are Passport Joes, expats, you can call them whatever you want, but they're not Passport Bros. The entire term bros, Passport Bros, came about because you're dealing with angry black women on TikTok talking down about black men who are leaving and going abroad. So it automatically denotes black men. Now, there's other people out there who travel and they get wives from other countries. You got like Korean men who do it because, they don't like older Korean women. So, they call them leftover women or Christmas cake. The Japanese do it too. And they go down to Southeast Asia. They go to Laos, Cambodia, Thailand. They go down there looking for women, right? Right now in Korea, for instance, feminism has this thing called the BBB movement, which basically says no sex, no relationships, no marriage, blah, blah, blah with men. Now, that only applies to their men. That doesn't apply to black men and white men. That applies to Korean men. See, apparently what's happened is feminism has turned women against men, right? But it's turned them against their men, their biological matches. So black men can get wives in Korea. Black men can get wives in Philippines. Philippines doesn't have this movement, but Korea specifically does. China also is starting to see a rise of feminism, but Chinese women are marrying African men, and Chinese women are marrying Black American men too. So the thing about it is that feminist movement doesn't apply to us. That applies to their men. because they're not giving their men traditional marriage. And you know, if you're a Japanese man, you might decide that you don't even want to marry, you know, a Japanese woman because maybe she's a little too old. Once they turn about 27, you see, the Japanese, they refer to these women who've turned about 27, they refer to them as Christmas cake. The reason why is because in Japan, after World War II, sugar was a difficult commodity to find. So it was actually very difficult to get, sweets and chocolates and stuff and cake. You know, so during Christmas, they celebrated Christmas because keep in mind, these aren't Christians. They celebrated Christmas by giving gifts of cake, just like in America. You know how we give people a fruit cake in order to celebrate Christmas, right? So the Japanese, they give these gifts of cake. And the problem is if you get too many cakes, you can't eat them all. So what they call the ones that they didn't eat, they call those the leftover cake. Now, the Chinese call them shengnu, which means leftover woman, but the Japanese call them Christmas cakes. Now, if you ask a Japanese guy, you know, if you were to go to a Japanese guy, you ask him, you say, listen, why can't you just marry a Japanese woman? Why are you going to like Laos, Cambodia, Thailand? Why are you going to Myanmar, Burma? Why are you going down there looking for women? Why don't you just marry one of the women in your country who's like, 30 or 35? Well, that Japanese man, he's going to get very upset with you. He's going to look you in the eyes, and his eyes are going to get crossed like down. They're going to get very, very angry. And he's going to say, no! No! What the Christmas killer? No! 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 What the Christmas killer? So, yeah, I happen to be going to Haneda first before I get to Bali or Singapore. So I'll definitely be seeing some Japanese men. I may even ask them, up front. I might ask them if, they themselves prefer Christmas cake. But they're pretty much probably going to tell you exactly what I just said. So anyway, passport bros are black American men going to other countries, getting their passports, looking for relationships and romance. I'm not going to belabor this point too long. This article delves into who passport bros are, what drives them, and how their movement reflects broader societal trends. Understanding the passport bros movement. Passport bros are motivated by the desire to find a setting where they feel more appreciated and respected than they might feel in their home country, namely the United States. The movement is not just about traveling. It's about seeking environments where they perceive the social dynamics to be more favorable, especially in terms of dating and interpersonal relationships. Members of this community often share stories of positive experiences in foreign countries where they find the social atmosphere to be more welcoming and less racially biased. And before I go on, I will quickly say, I've been in South Korea, I've lived in China, I've visited Japan, I've lived in Philippines, I've stayed in Thailand and visited Thailand. I even went on tours around South Korea, for example. I had always heard rumors that South Koreans were really, really racist. And these were just rumors and stereotypes. And the thing about it is, maybe that does apply here in America where they're actually forced to compete for resources with the people right here. And maybe that stereotype originated here. But when I went to their actual country, I had no problems whatsoever. As a black man in China, I had no problems whatsoever. In Japan, I had no problems whatsoever. I think the allegations of racism, I really believe that they're more targeted towards African visitors because the Africans, especially the ones who come from countries of poverty, when they come to those countries, right now, Italy is seeing an influx of immigrants. Basically, right now, immigration, illegal, legal, whatever, is on the rise. And I've already pointed out why I believe that's so. These are our replacements. Feminism has decided not to produce children. Feminism is out there rallying behind birth control pills and abortifacients. But you have to remember, at the end of the day, the health of the state is live births. This government expects you to be procreating, bottom line. And if you won't do it, they'll find somebody else to import in here to do it. And that's the bottom line. You will be replaced. Everybody is nothing more than a gear or a cog in the machine. And if you're not doing your job and you're not having 2.5 children or whatever that 0.5, 0.7, whatever that number is, if you're not having at least 3 children, as far as the government's concerned, you're useless. I always hated the fact that welfare exists. And I always wondered, it's like, well, wait a minute. The Republicans didn't get rid of welfare and the Democrats didn't either. But the problem is, as you get older, you start to realize the truth. The health of the state is live births. They will put as much food and as many meal tickets and as many bread lines out there as they can to make sure that they keep feeding these women and make sure that they stay pregnant. And that's the reality. Now, unfortunately for this government, they made the huge mistake of allowing abortifacients to get out of hand. So now they have a situation where fertility rates are getting lower, birth rates are declining, marriage rates are declining, and the same thing is happening over in Europe. I don't even need to point out the statistics because they're there. Not only that, the same thing's happening in Japan, the same thing's happening in South Korea. Basically, everything that American feminism touches, every single thing American feminism touches turns to shit. And we're seeing that with the actual statistics. So the bottom line is, this new BBB movement over there in South Korea, yeah, again, this only applies to their men. The feminism movement in China, this only applies to their men. If you're a black American passport bro and you go to one of those countries, I guarantee you'll have a girlfriend within the week. And if you stay there long enough, she'll want to marry you because she's not going to get what she wants out of her man, and she's not willing to give him the traditional marriage that he wants or expects. They've decided to go their own way. And I've pointed out, South Korea, they have an organization for Korean single moms. It's KUMFA. It's called KUMFA. KUMFA. This feminism movement is out of control. And it's going to ultimately cause a lot of those South Korean and Chinese and Japanese men to go down to Southeast Asia looking for women. And that's the reality. Now, I know a lot of you're American, you don't think about stuff like this, but the reality is I spend a lot of time in Asia, so I actually learn, about what's going on over there. But that's the reality. We're not having problems like that so much in South America. South America, they're not really having too much of a problem with birth rates and fertility rates and stuff like that. Them women are doing their thing. They're getting it in. Especially down there in Brazil. Like, it's hot down there. Everybody's walking around half naked most of the time. And, the women have real hair. And, they don't have all that plastic in them because they can't afford it. A lot of them are, dirty, barefoot, and, they're just bare feet. So the guys go down there and they lose their minds. So believe me, down there, they're not having too much of a problem with birth rates. But over in Europe, yeah, they are. In Asia, yeah, they are. So that's just what it is. Okay, the rise of the passport bros can be seen as a response to societal issues in the U.S., including racial tension and dissatisfaction with the dating scene. For many passport bros, moving abroad or dating internationally is a way to escape these challenges. This movement highlights a broader narrative about global mobility and the search for a sense of belonging and acceptance in a global context. Key destinations and experiences. Popular destinations for passport bros. Countries in Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, and Latin America are popular among passport bros. These regions are often highlighted for their welcoming attitude towards foreigners, i.e., you're an American and you're coming here with American money. We can't wait to see you. Lower cost of living and perceived simplicity in social interactions and dating. The appeal of these destinations is frequently discussed in online forums and social media where passport bros exchange tips and advice on navigating life abroad. Let's see, personal stories from the community. I'm going to skip some of this. You can read this yourself. I'm just looking for the better parts of it. Navigating misconceptions. While the passport bros movement is about seeking better opportunities, it is not without its challenges and criticisms. First of all, the critics can throw themselves out a window. They can defenestrate themselves. I believe at a certain point, passport bros need to hold themselves above criticism. There's certain people, their opinions don't matter. Their opinions may matter to them, but on the global scheme of things, they don't matter. After all, you get your passport and you get that plane ticket, your critics' opinions, they stay here. They don't follow you. So at a certain point, it's like you just have to hold yourself above their critics. They don't matter. They really don't matter. So anyway, furthermore, there is concern that the portrayal of foreign cultures as more desirable can perpetuate stereotypes and lead to unrealistic expectations. Actually, that's not true. These, what you want to call stereotypes, those are actually facts. And these, when you say lead to unrealistic expectation, yeah, those are facts too. So when we say something like, let's say it says portrayal of foreign cultures as more desirable. So what about the portrayal of a foreign culture might be more desirable? Well, what if you have a culture that is rooted in family, is rooted in patriarchy, where a man leads the household and the women's job is to help the man create and lead the household? That's not a stereotype, that's a fact. And certain countries are literally designed that way, and they perpetuate that culture. A lot of Islamic states, for example, the man is the head of the household, and that's it. And I understand that Western liberal feminism wants to do whatever it can to infect those cultures and to tear them apart. But one thing I got to say about Islam and Hinduism, one thing I've got to say about those patriarchal East Asian cultures is they ain't let nobody come up in there. Let me just remind you, you remember when those women decided that they were going to take off their hijabs and they were going to start some problems over there in Qatar? Here's a question. Whatever happened to them? Qatar, one of the last things I heard about that issue, that was during that World Cup, I believe, when they were playing soccer. One of the last things I heard about that issue was that they had filled the stadium because they were like not playing that protest game. You ain't protesting shit. So what they did was they filled the stadium with a paid audience that was there just to applaud and just to cheer and to sing the national anthem and all that. Now, here in America, you got people who refuse to stand for the national anthem, refuse to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and all that. In these countries, you're standing. You're going to get up and you're going to stand up and you're going to put your hand over your heart or you're going to go missing. That's how they deal with it over there. Ask Vladimir Putin, who was the last person over there in Russia to be in the room with him and refuse to stand for national anthem. Ask him. You know, I think what's so amazing about Vladimir Putin, no matter who's the president here in America, U.S. presidents come and go. Vladimir Putin's eternal. He'll be there as long as he feels like being there. That will be an old man. He'll be 90 years old and tired before he decides, you know what, I think it's time for me to retire, comrade. Meanwhile, Biden's gone. Obama came and went. Clinton came and went. Bush came and went. Like all the rest of these dudes, you get 4 years plus a second term if you're lucky. Trump came and went. We don't know what's going to happen this year. But one thing I can guarantee you, the Russian president gets 6 years in office. So that means that Putin got back in there this year. He's going to be there beyond whoever wins here in America in November. But bottom line is, this is all I'm saying. Ask Putin when was the last time somebody refused to stand up for the national anthem and lived to tell about it. Ask Putin how many people refuse to put their hand on their heart and say the national anthem or sing the Pledge of Allegiance. You ask him, because when they get up there with that Russian pledge, and it's a beautiful song. I have no idea what they're saying because I've looked it up a couple of times. Paul Robeson sang it. And I looked it up, and when they get up there, they're like, and when they stand up and they sing it, everybody's singing. They ain't nobody sitting down, ain't nobody pulling no shit. So I understand, yes, America has the right to protest, but when you go over to these other countries, they ain't letting nobody mess that up. So Russia, China, these Islamic states, India, they ain't playing no games over there. That's what I can guarantee. Qatar ain't playing no games over there. That's the bottom line. Now, here in America, oh, yeah, well, oh, yeah, I don't feel like getting up. It's, oh, say, can you see? Hey, excuse me, why are you kneeling? Oh, I'm protesting. I'm protesting that young black male who stole a Lamborghini and the cops chased him until he crashed it and tore himself in part. Tore the car in half. Yeah, I'm protesting that. Or I'm protesting college students being mistreated as they're protesting the treatment of the Palestinians. So I'm protesting because they're protesting. So I'm not standing up. I'm not singing the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm not doing the national anthem. Yeah, so you go over to one of those countries, you try that and see how it works out for you. Because I still haven't heard back from them women from Iran. What was it, Iran? And they were in Qatar. So they got over to Qatar. They thought that they were free and they were on television. Yeah, I'm taking this off. I'm taking this hijab off. I'm taking it off. I haven't heard back from them. So bottom line is this. I ramble. But the point is, I have a theory. And I believe that people from all over the world, they're desperate to get to America because in America, we are chaotic and we have the disorder that comes with freedom. In those countries, they're not playing that shit. In those countries, there's no freedom. It's orderly. When you go to those countries, it's quiet. Like when I was in South Korea, it's so quiet. Japan, it was so quiet. China, it was so quiet, peaceful, mellow. You come to America, it's loud chaos all freaking day. And then there's all the freedoms that, the protests, the gun ownership, and this, that, and other. So I have a theory. Most of these people, they're desperate to get to America because they're so used to the order that they are desperate for chaos. And they want to come here to that. They're desperate for chaos. That's my theory. So, where was I? The complexity of expatriate life. Living abroad involves more than just enjoying a different social atmosphere. It requires adapting to a new culture, often learning a new language and understanding different legal and social norms. The experiences of passport bros vary wildly, and success abroad depends on a multitude of factors, including individual preparedness and the specific circumstances of each country. The greater context of passport bros. Okay, the passport bros movement illuminates a distinctive facet of modern social dynamics, revealing how global mobility serves as both a pathway to personal fulfillment and a means of cultural integration. As this movement evolves, it raises profound questions about identity, belonging, and the quest for acceptance within a world that is becoming ever more interconnected. This subculture, primarily comprising African American men, there we go again. This is about black men. This is not about white men. This is not about Hispanic men. This is not about that guy, Austin Abetya. It's not about them. This is about black men. This is about African American men. Underscores a broader narrative about the search for spaces that offer not only better social interactions, but also a greater sense of respect and recognition. Exploring the motivations and experiences of passport bros allows us to understand the appeal of transcending geographical and cultural boundaries to create a life that might feel more rewarding. It invites us to consider the psychological and this is really about to put me to sleep. This movement challenges traditional notions of home and belonging, urging us to rethink what it means to be part of a community and what? Ultimately, the story of Passport Bros is a reflection of a larger trend towards global migration and the exploration of identity in different cultural settings. As members of this community share their journeys, they contribute to a richer dialogue about the complexities of living abroad and the endless human search for a place where one truly belongs. All right. So that's this author's take on what the Passport Bros are. I'm not going to discredit or discount what this person is saying. This person is Mr. Digital Fingers. I'm not going to say that he's wrong. But what I am going to say is that it's much simpler than that. It's much, much simpler. It's like this could be simplified. First of all, Black American men have it hard enough. Well, let's just start there. I would say that it's very exhausting being a black male in America. Now, there's lots of people out there who have tried to do their best to downplay racism, but there's plenty of people that will tell you that it exists, whether they're black or white. They'll tell you it exists, and they'll also tell you that they've seen it, and they'll also tell you that they know people who practice it, whether they're black or white, or maybe even not even black or white. They might be Hispanic, they might be Asian, and they will tell you that it exists. So while there's so many people trying to downplay it, oh yeah, Obama was president. It's like, that doesn't mean shit. He didn't do a goddamn thing while he was in there. And neither did Biden. And my thing is, it's like, yeah, they try to downplay it, but the bottom line is, I'm pretty sure most African American men, if you question them one-on-one, they would pretty much say that it's very exhausting being a black American male. They have to be careful where they walk. They have to be careful where they go. There's certain parts of this country black people will not go to because they worry that something might happen to them. And that's in this country. You know, I've been all over the world. I've never, the furthest west I've been is Denver, Colorado. I've been all over the world. China, Japan, South Korea, Thailand, going to Bali, going to Singapore. I've been all over the planet. But there's parts of America I refuse to go to. Either I'm worried that somebody might try to steal my car. I have an uncle, he goes down south to Florida. His car's been broken into a couple of times. He has no idea who did it, but they've broken into his car because they saw those New York plates and they say, yeah, I'm breaking into this dude's car. There are parts of this country I don't trust. There's cops in certain parts of this country that I don't trust. I go over to Japan, the cops don't even carry guns. I don't have to worry about a cop shooting me simply because they don't even have a gun. As long as I'm not doing anything like crazy or stupid, like attacking somebody or anything, they're not doing nothing to me. And I'm living proof that they just didn't. I stayed in China. The only cops I saw with guns were the ones that were military police who were standing posted at military installations, or the ones who had shotguns because they had to collect money from ATM machines. The regular cops are unarmed. So if they did come after you because you did something, the worst you'd have to worry about is probably getting beat over the head. And that's about it. But you ain't got to worry about getting shot to death because, like, they thought that you reached into your pocket and you pulled out a wallet or some shit. So, long story short, it's, to some people, I would say it's very exhausting living here. There are, like, everybody be like, oh, yeah, well, you can just pack your bags and leave. Well, that's kind of what the passport bros are doing. And I would also argue that, yeah, if they had the money, they would literally just pack their bags and turn their back and they fucking leave. There's a lot of people, just like it says, they've gone to Eastern Europe and they refuse to come back. There were a lot of World War II veterans who left. They went to Eastern Europe. They went to Germany and Italy and all that. They refused to come back. Italy, France, Germany. They stayed there. England, London, they stayed over there. And didn't miss a dime of this place. Just stayed right over there. The passport bros have decided, yeah, I'm going to Brazil. I'm going to, Colombia, DR, whatever it is. And I'm going to stay here as long as I possibly can. These expats who have jobs with, digital technologies and whatnot, cybersecurity, they're leaving. They're getting the hell out of here. They're leaving. Like, you got these racists and nationalists who want to jump up. Oh, yeah, pack your bags. Well, I hope you pack your bags. You can leave. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. But they're not doing it because they don't love the country. They're doing it because they don't love their community. And when I say they don't love their community, Obviously, what I'm saying is they're disappointed, disgusted with the women in their community, absolutely disgusted. And this doesn't just apply to black men, this applies to white men too, because the thing about it is, if you're a white man and you're a white woman, she refuses to have children with you. Like she's popping pills or taking in, what are those things, Depo-Provera shots, and she refuses to have children with you. Do you realize that white male suicides are higher than like ever before? Like they're going up. And you have to wonder, well, why is that? But it's not hard to figure out. It's just like with those stories that I read about, white males refusing to go to college. Some of them are saying, yeah, I refuse to go to college because I refuse to take out the debt. But the other issue is they're not only refusing to go to college, but on top of that, they're refusing to join the military. And their birth rates are down and their marriage rates are down. So what does that tell you? That tells you that there's a bigger problem here for men in America. And it's been, documented a couple of times that, men are not happy right now. It's been pointed out numerous times. I've read a couple of the articles. I can't really think of the names of them, but I've, read behind those articles a couple of times. So then you go from the white man, you go to the black man, and the black man's not happy with his community either. And he's definitely not happy with the women in his community. That's what this Passport Bros movement is basically all about. It's like if you've literally got women just like these Korean women with this BBB movement, and we refuse to let you take us out on dates because we refuse to go to the Cheesecake Factory. And I don't trust you. And I would rather be in the forest with a bear. And I choose the bear instead of a man. And I'm like, what? Huh? What? I choose the bear. That's the new movement. I choose the goddamn bear. Let me tell you something. The very thought of a bear is the reason why right now I'm sitting on a Desert Eagle 50 caliber, 50 Action Express. Because as far as I know, this Desert Eagle can put holes in a bear that he ain't healing from. Because after I saw that movie, The Revenant, with Leonardo DiCaprio, and the bear jumped on him and mauled him and everything. Nah, it's like, no. I will bust this Desert Eagle right into that bear before he has a chance to do anything to me. Because I might go into the woods. You never know. I might go into the woods, might go hunting. We might go deer hunting or something. And, a bear could be like out there, black bear. Because like when I've been in, you got black bears, brown bears, grizzly bears. It's like when I've been in Pennsylvania. I have family and they live in these wooded areas and shit. And every now and then a bear comes out of like the woods. And listen, I know there's some people, they don't hurt you. They don't bother you. It's like, listen, if I see a freaking bear, that Desert Eagle's coming out. I don't care if it's a polar bear. I don't trust none of them. And them things can run and they can climb trees and they can take on guys that are 7 feet tall. I'm not playing no games with no damn bear. Let the Russians do that. They wrestle the bears. I ain't playing no games with no bear. This Desert Eagle, when I bought this, I was thinking of bears, tigers, and possibly mountain lions. That's what this is for. Because as far as I know, my 45 isn't enough to stop a bear. Or maybe it'll hurt him, but I don't, no. My 50 cal is enough to take a bear down, period. But these women are literally saying, I don't trust you. I would rather be around a bear. I'm like, I know you're just looking for attention and saying stupid shit, but that's just really dumb. I mean, that's like really, really dumb. And that's the new thing right now. I choose the bear. I choose to be around the bear. And I'm like, what? Where did this come from? So again, this is all related. Passport Bros feel unloved. They feel undesired. They feel unneeded. And they say, you know what? I'm going to pack my stuff. I'm going to go to Colombia. I'm going to go to Brazil. I'm going to go to the DR. I'm going to go to China, Cambodia, whatever it is, Vietnam, whatever. And the women there, Passport Bros, we can't wait to see you. Yay, yes, it's Passport Bros right over here. And they're happy about that. Like, they're like, yeah, I could get myself a pretty wife and this, that, and other, and I can have children and this, that, and other, and I can have a family, and I don't have to worry about baby daddies, and I don't have to worry about child support and visits and shit on weekends. I don't have to worry about family court and all that. It's like, nah, I'm gonna get one of these women over here. And now let me tell you something. This feminism thing, it's make it, because you gotta understand, this, like, in America, there's only like 44 million blacks or something. I looked it up. It was like let's say it's less than 45 million blacks. So if you say that half of those are men and half are women, then you're dealing with a number somewhere around 22.5. Let's give it a number 22 million, right? And now if you assume that out of those 22 million black males, that a number, uh-oh. I heard somebody yelling or something. But anyway, if you assume that out of those black males, let's say there's 22 million black males, right? Now, not all of them are going to be passport bros. But if you look at the number of women in these other countries, Asia has like over 2 billion women. And a lot of them are unmarried and single. And then you've got Latin America. And Latin America, including South America, you've got like about a billion, get close to a billion, give or take. And a lot of these women out of that population, let's say they number somewhere around like 400, maybe even 500 million, right? But there's only like 22 million or so of us. And when you look at the marriage-aged males, there's even less. Let's say it's half. Let's say instead of 22, let's chop it down to 11. 11 million of us, but you've got over 4 billion women outside of America. America only has like 350 million people, right? But there's only like 11 million of us tops that are marriage age, right? When you go outside, it's like when Jesus was in the boat and he said, yeah, you have to cast a wide net. When you're stuck here in America, you can't cast your net wide. When you go outside America, you cast your net as wide as possible. So it makes no sense to stay here. It really doesn't. It really, really, really doesn't. So for those people be like, oh yeah, well, you might as well just leave, pack your bag, leave. Well, that's exactly what these men are doing. And they're making a point to do it. And they're posting their photos of their girlfriends and their wives that they're getting overseas. And they're having children and this, that, and other. And they're having families and stuff. A lot of them don't want to come back, but they may have no choice because of, the job-related issues, this, that, and other. So the bottom line is the Passport Bros are doing their thing. And this, it's funny, the Passport Bros movement has sustained longer than just about any other aspect of the manosphere. You heard them talking about black pill this, red pill that, blah, blah, blah. Most of that stuff is gone now. It's like most of the people, with their channels and everything, talking this nonsense, blue pill, purple pill, black pill, red. Most of those guys are gone. But the Passport Bros have sustained this long. Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, gone. What did they say? You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. He's gone. A lot of the other dudes that, they made content around the same time he did. A lot of them are dead. A lot of them are gone. Passport Bros have sustained because this whole idea of getting your passport, it costs you less than $180. This whole idea of getting your passport and going to greener pastures, flying to greener pastures, this whole idea has sustained this long. It's been, since 2020? What is this? We're talking about 4 years, and we're going right into another summer. And that's the reason why it sustains. Summer comes, every single year. Passport Bros moving every single year. Some of them are moving in the winter. When it's winter here, they're going over to the other side of the world where it's summer in the other hemisphere. But this whole idea has sustained, and it just keeps on going. It keeps on revolving, with the earth itself. there were a lot of people who wanted to see this movement just fizzle out, but they didn't understand. The worse the conditions get here, the more likely you've got young men saying, I'm going to get my passport. I'm going to go leave. And right now, it's just, it's a handful of, Asian countries, European countries, Latin American countries. Someday, it very well might be other planets. You never know. We might be getting passport bros on Mars or passport bros in Jupiter. We're going to Pluto. You don't know. This is going to sustain itself. It's not going to fizzle out. It's going to sustain itself. When you got women talking about choosing bears over men and not trusting the men, you can guarantee this is going to sustain itself. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So that's basically this story right here. Mr. Digital Fingers, it's a well-written story. It kind of bored me a little bit, but it's a well-written article. But the bottom line is, I don't think it doesn't tell the full spectrum of like what's going on. Because the reality is, men here in general, white men, black men, they're not happy. They're really not happy. And this Passport Bros movement is like cathartic because it's their way of saying, not only am I not happy, but I found a place where I am happy, and now I'm going to come back and tell all the rest of the men about it. And we're going to go over there, and we're going to take some. Just like, in the Aliens, when they say, yeah, we're going to go, and we're going to land there, and we're going to take some. That's what it is. So these women, they don't want you to tell anybody about what you found. They don't want you to tell nobody about that. They don't want you. Do you think that the women in America who are right now facing the highest interest rates they've ever seen in their life, who are right now facing the highest mortgage inaffordability that they've ever seen in their life, who are facing the highest rent instability that they've ever seen in their life, who are facing... Do you realize that the interest rates are so high that most of these both babes, I'm a both babe like Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada, I'm a both babe. Do you realize most of them, they can't even get these Range Rovers and they even trying to sell feet photos on OnlyFans. Do you realize that these interest rates are so high that they can't even afford that stuff no more? And a lot of them, they're forced to go and get a Nissan Rogue, or they're forced to go get a Honda Cross Tour, or they're forced to go get like a Subaru Crosstrek or something. They can't afford this shit no more. Because the problem is, it's not just, the car. It's also paying for rent or the mortgage, because they're trying to brag about how many of these women are buying houses. Yeah, but the problem is, you're buying houses, you're fucking ending up in foreclosure. So here's the issue: it's like all of those bills are coming, and you got these utility bills. I have a female coworker friend, and her boiler and furnace decided to give out on her. Now, she was planning on going on a vacation just like me. She was planning to go down to the beaches of Southeast Asia. And she was, I'm going to get a business class ticket just like you. But all of a sudden, boiler blew. Boiler said, nope, fuck you. I'm turning off and I'm not turning back on. And the guy had to come repair that. Now, by the way, I said the guy had to come repair that. See, these women are quick to talk about how they're going to choose the bear right up until their boiler don't work. I haven't seen no bears replacing no boilers. Yeah, when the plumbing don't work, how many bears are you calling to replace the plumbing? Right? When your electricity don't work, how many bears are coming to your house to replace the electricity? But they talk, I choose the bear. I choose the bear. I choose the bear. I choose the bear. Yeah, well, when your cable television don't work because a tree fell down and took down the line for your Verizon Fios, I don't see no bears on the trees fixing no goddamn Fios, fiber optic cables. I don't see that happening. But I choose the bear. So anyway, her boiler blew, and they say, it's going to cost you like $8,000. It was actually higher, but she got a second opinion. And they say, I could do it a little bit cheaper. So it went down from 13,000 to 8,000, right? It wasn't no bear. It was a man doing that work, by the way. And the thing about it is these boss babes, they getting hit by these bills, these utilities, these insurance rates, and these property taxes, and it's getting overwhelming. And they're on TikTok complaining, where are all the good men at? Where are all the men with the money? It's like, yeah, they're getting their passports. Oh, Leonardo DiCaprio, he's like, yeah, listen, if you're over the age of like 18, I'm not talking to you. I'm good. They getting their passports, guys. That's what it is. Some of them getting passports, some of them marrying young. But bottom line is, it's like, oh, I choose the bear. I'd rather choose the bear. I don't trust you. I choose the bear. Okay, choose the bear. Go ahead. Go ahead, because I ain't seen no bear do nothing except tear things apart and eat them. But, that's on you. So it's amazing that we've gotten to this point. But the Passport Bros movement is going to transcend. It's going to transcend everything that we're seeing. So you can choose the bear, but the Passport Bros are choosing to get their passports.
And the Escape the Corset movement back in 2016 saw Korean women rejecting societal expectations placed upon them, taking aim at the country's internationally renowned beauty industry by shaving their heads on camera and refusing to wear makeup. Intimate partner violence is another source of discontentment amongst Korean women. A 2016 national survey by the South Korean Ministry of Gender Equality and Family found the rate of intimate partner violence against women to be 41.5%, much higher than the global average of 30%.
These women are poor and vulnerable,
easier to manipulate, know their place,
disadvantaged, are in dire financial need. They want their visas. They have to be quiet. They don't know no better. That's why you have to go to developing countries to try to take their women, and it sickens me. And
yes, they'll do what you say.
She is in a dire situation
because she doesn't know about much in life.
They have to bow and scrape at these men's feet. If you are a man and brag about go to underprivileged third world countries to get a wife, an obedient wife, you are a predator.
Well, hello everybody. I'm from Thai.
I'm from the Philippines.
We're sitting here long ass time for our passport to come in. So where are you?
We're waiting for the passport, bro.
Don't hate.
The increased visibility of the 4B movement comes at a time of demographic crisis in South Korea, which has one of the lowest fertility rates in the world at 0.8 births per woman, compared to the global average of 2.3, according to World Bank data. In the last 2 decades, despite instituting pro-birth policies by giving monthly cash allowances to new parents, extending parental leave, and free daycare, the birth rate has continued to decline. Though the 4B movement has been pointed to as a cause for the low birth rate, the demographic decline has been decades in the making. Despite increased visibility online, the 4B movement still only represents a small percentage of the nation's population.
To be continued.